Yeah, my wonderful people, viewers and subscribers, I beg you, make on I can't hear this message because if Enyero in Kipazo, revisiting the deceptive post-war theatrics against Biafrans. First, the no victor, no vanquished, now the 3 R's. These are the lies that they told us, or rather they told our ancestors, our forefathers, who really fought to make sure that Biafra is being recognized as a nation. But anyway, we are not going to give up. We're not going to give up hope. We still have to keep our hope alive, knowing fully well that if it didn't happen today, it is going to happen tomorrow. If our institutions protect power and not people. Labour Party chairman Ekong blasts Senate over Natasha Akpoti's suspension. Akpabio must step aside though he cannot serve as a judge in his own case. Deji Adeyanjo, now he talk this one. Akpabio, you never see what is coming your way. You will not know what hit you until when it finishes. Anyway, let us debunk this lie because Efe Enyero. I beg you help me like, share, comment, and make sure you subscribe. Once again, happy weekend and happy Saturday. Justice for Biafra. Biafra must exist. Just as deceptive as other mantras adopted in the post-Civil War era, shortly after the unconditional surrender of Biafra Republic in 1970, the no victor, no vanquished, and the so-called abbreviated 3Rs rehabilitation, reconstruction, and reintegration stands out as the most taunted by the federal military led government by Jack Gowon, whom at the time aimed at whitewashing his image over the destruction of and the genocidal atrocities it committed against the Biafrans during the 30 months of a land-sea blockade and artillery bombardments of innocent citizens. The goal of this audio vicious programs publicized and overly amplified was to deliberately fool the Biafrans who were still licking their wounds from the hunger, starvation, and destruction of the war, and to douse the resentment of the international community towards the federal government for its genocidal tendencies, and convince them that the oppressive Nigerian government was on a path of peace and reconciliation with the Igbos and their ethnic killed and kinsmen from the defunct Biafra Republic. During this period, the Fulani government of Nigeria and the representatives of the Republic of Biafra, led by General Philip Effiong, agreed to implement many things, which includes the 3Rs as part of the reconciliation process, which should serve as the effort to heal the wounds of the Civil War and promote peace, stability, and the development of in the affected areas. And of course, that affected area was squarely Biafra territories. The war was prosecuted and fought only the soil of Biafra sovereignty. The war brought absolute and total destruction in its wake, as Igbo land primarily was made desolate. Lots of properties were destroyed by the area bombardment and artillery machines. Bridges, hospitals, schools, and marketplaces were in total ruins. Even places of worship were not left out. However, none of these facilities, infrastructures, etc. were rebuilt after the Civil War as promised and agreed upon under the 3Rs scheme. Instead, the Fulani government of Nigeria moved its focus towards the building of the Third Mainland Bridge in the Lagos Island, the National Theatre in Lagos, and other major projects in the northern states, like the dams in Shiroro and Kainji, all in Niger State, and a countless other projects in the northern region, such as the railway stations, textile industries, and iron production factories, to mention but a few. Therefore, the money meant for the reconstruction of the damaged structures in the war-torn zones of Biafra and the money to rehabilitate the internally displaced scattered across the region and beyond, as well as that for the reintegration of the combatants into the society in order to reunite them with their families, were diverted to build major projects in areas where there was no combat face-off. To crown it all, the economic emasculation policy was initiated. The finances of the Biafrans were confiscated by the government through its Federal Ministry of Finance under the directives of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, whose political ambitions, amongst other factors, inspired and escalated the Civil War. It is pertinent to note that the Fulani government decision to renege on these agreements and continue marginalizing Ndi Igbo and the Eastern region in general is the worst inhuman treatment in the history of mankind. These broken promises has long-lasting, far-reaching consequences, fueling ethnic tensions and undermining trust in the government, leading to the contemporary agitations for the Biafra self-determination. On the other hand, the failed Aburi Accord, which its purpose had been implemented, was to bring about justice, equity, and fairness for every ethnic group in Nigeria, was abandoned and quashed by the government led by Yakubu Gowon Jack. The marginalization of Igbos has persisted, with many arguing that it has contributed to the region's underdevelopment of critical social infrastructures and social unrest. The federal government failure to address these grievances has created a sense of exclusion and disenfranchisement, fueling separatist movements and calls for greater autonomy. In hindsight, it is clear that the then Nigerian military government consciously missed a golden opportunity for reconciliation and nation building even after the genocidal war by reneging on the agreements, not just the Aburi Accord but the 3 R's initiatives. The government perpetuated a cycle of mistrust and violence which continues to affect Nigeria's social and political landscape even up to this moment I am talking to you. Ultimately, acknowledging and learning from the past mistakes is crucial for Nigeria's progress and prosperity. The government must take concrete steps to address the historical injustice meted upon the ethnic makeup of the old eastern region, which is the Biafrans. Guns and bullets will not end, or rather will not end the quest for Biafra self-determination as long as systematic repercussion and exclusion implemented by the successive government of Nigeria has not been put to a halt. And if care is not taken, yet another brutal civil war will not be far away from our doorsteps. History, they say, always repeats itself. Only those who are conscious enough to take drastic steps will not be caught unaware by the unmerciful snares of natural order. Article written by Ofo Prince Will Akwebuma and edited and published by Family Writers Press International. Our institutions protect power, not people. Labour Party Chairman Ekong blasts Senate over Natasha Akpoti's suspension. Akpabio will not know what hit him until it happens. The Lagos State Chairman of the Labour Party, Dayo Ekongo, has condemned the suspension of the Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, calling it a glaring example of institutional oppression. Ekong decried the decision as a grotesque perversion of justice, arguing that instead of investigating Akpoti-Uduaghan's allegations of sexual harassment against Senate President Godswill Akpabio, the Senate chooses to silence her. That is the kind of country you are running to, or the kind of country they are running. She warned that the move exposes a culture that prioritizes protecting those in power while suppressing the voices of the victims, particularly women. Nigerians report that Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan was suspended for 6 months following her allegations of sexual harassment against Senate President Godswill Akpabio, a decision ECON sees as a blatant act of oppression. Akpoti-Uduaghan has accused Akpabio of making unwanted sexual advances towards her and denying her certain privileges after she rejected him. She formally took her complaint to the Senate Ethics Committee, which instead of addressing her claims, dismissed her petition and proceeded to suspend her. ECON, in a statement, expressed dismay over the situation, emphasizing that silencing a female senator for speaking up against harassment sets a dangerous precedent on the future. She said, as a chairman of the Lagos State Labour Party, I speak with a mix of outrage and sorrow at the grievous injustice unfolding in our National Assembly. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, a voice courageously alleging sexual harassment by Senate President Godswill Akpabio, has been suspended for 6 months, not for her accusations to be investigated, but for daring to speak to them. You get the point now? She criticized the Senate Ethics Committee's decision to dismiss the petition on procedural grounds, while punishing the senator for supposedly bringing the chamber into disrupt. In conclusion, myself and the entire State Working Committee of the Labour Party, Lagos State, stand unwaveringly with Senator Uduaghan and her vow to continue her pursuit for justice. Her suspension is not merely political, it is a symbol of oppression faced by every woman gaslit into silence. She urged Nigerians to take a stand against this injustice, calling for accountability and transparency in handling such matters, according to Labour Party Chairman Lagos State. Akpabio must step aside. He cannot serve as judge in his own case. Deji Adeyanju. Human rights lawyer Deji Adeyanju has described the suspension of a battled Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan as an attack on democratic principles. Speaking via a statement on Thursday, he argued that even if the lawmakers' accusations are frivolous, the Senate has a duty to investigate the allegations. He insisted that the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, who faces accusations of sexual harassment and inappropriate remarks, should be given the opportunity to defend himself before the Senate Ethics Committee and cross-examine Akpoti. Even if the allegations made by Natasha are deemed frivolous, the Senate has an obligation to investigate them thoroughly, Adeyanju stated. Adeyanju also raised concerns over a conflict of interest, highlighting that the chairman of the Ethics Committee had publicly defended Akpabio before presiding over the investigation. Can you imagine that? Akpabio cannot serve as a judge in his own case. For the sake of justice and fairness, he must step aside, he added. The lawyer criticized the lack of the process. Noting that neither Akpoti-Uduaghan nor Akpabio was allowed to appear before the committee. He compared the handling of the case to irregularities in Nigeria's electoral processes, where results are declared in the dead of the night without proper scrutiny. Calling on Akpoti-Uduaghan to challenge her 6-month suspension in court, Adeyanju said the action disfranchises the people of Kogi Central, who are now left without representation. He said the Senate has no right to suspend her. The leadership must not wield its power to silence or intimidate elected representatives. Adeyanju urged her to resist efforts to bully and harass her, stating that her suspension sets a dangerous precedent for women and other voices seeking change in the Nigeria politics. So my people, I will take back break. More of this video is coming your way. Like, share, comment, and make sure you keep subscribing for more interesting videos coming your way. My name still remains Amandia Neze, or you can address me as Okurora1 Nation. Now here we go take leave on now. Share and complete.